Alright, so yesterday we discussed about some basics of what research is in general. And I told you how problem solving method works and how there are other non-structured methods and there is structured method. So today we'll look at what are the steps of scientific method. What is scientific method as such, and what are the steps that are involved in scientific method. Alright. Now, first of all, scientific approach in general. Okay. So what are we discussing about? Steps of scientific approach. How do you scientifically approach a problem? Okay, that is essentially the topic of today's discussion. So, scientific approach, as such, if you go by the definition itself, is a system wherein you are logically and in you use logic and you use orderly elements which direct a formal structured inquiry. तो आप क्या कर रहे हैं? You're using logic and you're using certain elements which are part of your research, which are directing a structured inquiry process. All of this inquiry process is in hopes that you are able to obtain certain amount of knowledge. All right, इसलिए कर रहे हैं आप. One second, I'm just switching if possible. I'm on mobile data, तो अच्छा ठीक है. Now, अब साइंटिफिक मेथड में आप बहुत सारे फीचर्स इंक्लूड करते हैं, कैसा अलग अलग स्ट्रक्चर्स है, कैसा अलग. Hey guys, sorry, I got disconnected. Right. So, as we were discussing, scientific method में जो है you are using several features. ठीक है, you are using inductive reasoning, you are using deductive reasoning. ठीक है, you are using several methods wherein you are able to employ in order to gain certain knowledge. अब आप कोई एक particular topic के बारे में research करना चाह रहे हैं. Okay, one second, अभी recording. Yeah. तो आप एक पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक के बारे में रिसर्च करना चाहते हैं. लेट्स सपोज यू आर ट्राइंग टू फाइंड आउट बेड सोर्स इन आईसीयू पेशेंट्स. आप बेड सोर्स का प्रेवलेंस के बारे में पढ़ना चाहते हैं. ओके, यू वांट टू फाइंड आउट हाउ कॉमन आर बेड सोर्स इन पेशेंट्स हु आर इन आईसीयू. राइट, सो फेयरली कॉमन टॉपिक. अब टू गो अबाउट दिस देयर आर टू वेज. ठीक है, आप इंडक्टिव रीजनिंग से कर सकते हैं या डिडक्टिव रीजनिंग. हेलो या getting disconnected in between here and there. Right. So just telling you, you can perform that by either inductive reasoning or by deductive reasoning. I'll explain what is the difference. So first of all, we'll look at inductive reasoning. Inductive reasoning में आप क्या कर रहे हैं? It involves observation. Essentially, you are observing patients. So you literally write down the number of patients that are present in the ICU, and you write down. You can categorize them whichever way you want. You can just categorize them based on their diseases, or you can categorize them based on their gender, age, so on and so forth. How long they've been in ICU, are they immobile, or are they able to move around in their bed, things like that. So अब inductive reasoning से आप क्या करना चाह रहे हैं? This involves observation. So you are mainly observing the patients. Okay, you are observing the instances, and let's suppose out of 50 patients in an ICU, you find that 30 of them have bed sores. Okay, so you can conclude, and you are doing this in a single ICU. Let's suppose you do this in 2-3 different ICUs among 2-3 different hospitals. So let's suppose each hospital has around 3 ICUs, example. Okay, and each of these has 50 patients. All right, so 50 into 3 कितना होता? 150. ऐसे आप 3 हॉस्पिटल देख रहे हैं, so 3 whole hospitals altogether. So 150 into 3, 450. ठीक है, so you started out with the assumption that there might be bed sores in patients, ICU patients, and you want to observe whether they are bed sores or not. Okay, to come to your conclusion, to find out, you are performing research. Now, in this scenario, what you are doing is, specifically, if you go about it in inductive way, अगर inductive reasoning employ कर रहे हैं आप, let's suppose you use inductive reasoning. ठीक है, inductive reasoning में आप क्या कर रहे हैं? Observation से एक conclusion पे आ रहे हैं. You are observing certain data. So you find out, let's suppose, first of all, how many ICUs are there and how many hospitals do I want to check? Let's suppose you have 3 hospitals and each of these hospitals have 3 ICUs, ऑलराइट। तो आपके पास 9 हो गए, 9 into 50 450, वैसा भी कर सकते हैं आप, या 3 ICUs है, each में 50 पेशेंट है, 150 patients in a single hospital, 3 hospitals, hence 450 total patients. Now let's suppose you find that almost 50 to 70% of these 450 patients have bed sores. So let's suppose we take 50, it will be easier to calculate. So इसका 50% कितना होता है, 225 होता है, ठीक है। You find out that one among 2 patients in ICU, ठीक है, among these 3 hospitals have bed sores. Now through the conclusion you can derive several other assertions as well. It might be that they are using some common sheets, or they are not using AC, or some of the other. You can come to a different conclusion, but यहाँ पर आप essentially क्या कर रहे हैं, आप एक assertion बनाए थे पहले, you are observing patients, you are observing the subjects in that research, and you are finally coming to a conclusion. That is inductive approach. Deductive approach उल्टा रहता, ठीक है। You एक आंसर से आप assertion क्वेश्चन मालूम करने की कोशिश करते, ठीक है। डिडक्टिव रिसर्च में I'll tell you the one basic difference between inductive and deductive reasoning is that inductive reasoning or inductive research as such aims at developing theory. आप थियरी एक डेवलप कर रहे हो, उसके बाद आप कंक्लूजन पे आ रहे हैं, ठीक है। डिडक्टिव रीजनिंग में यू आर टेकिंग एन एग्जिस्टिंग थियरी एंड यू आर ट्राइंग टू फॉर्मुलेट क्वेश्चंस अराउंड इट, ठीक है। यू आर ट्राइंग टू टेस्ट एग्जिस्टिंग थियरी. That is the difference between inductive and deductive thinking, or inductive and deductive research. Okay, I'll repeat once again. Inductive reasoning or inductive research involves observation. Okay, you are developing theory. You are seeing patients, you are seeing subjects, and you are developing a theory. The theory in this case is okay. Bed sores are there. The bed sores are present in patients who are present in ICU. You are observing patients, and finally you come to a theory or to a conclusion. Reductive में आप क्या कर रहे हैं, you already have a theory, you already know that there are bed sores in patients, ठीक है। वहां से आप फाइंड आउट कर रहे हैं कितने पेशेंट्स में है, ये दूसरे हॉस्पिटल्स में भी हो रहा क्या, ऐसा। तो आप उल्टा जा रहे हैं डिडक्टिव रीजनिंग में। डिडक्टिव रीजनिंग में you already know that there is a theory, there is an existing theory, you're trying to test the theory. In deductive reasoning, all right, so it goes in the opposite manner than inductive theory. Whenever you have a scientific approach or scientific method, it will involve both inductive and deductive theory, right? I hope you are understanding. If you're not following, please feel free to ask. You can put it in the chat as well. If you're not understanding, I'll read the chat and answer. If not able to use a microphone or whatever the reason is, right? So inductive and deductive reasoning, both of them will be a part of any sound scientific approach. अगर आप एक particular theory को test करना चाह रहे हैं, या if you want to come to a particular conclusion, you need to involve both inductive research and deductive research, ठीक है। आप एक hypothesis से observation से conclusion पे आ रहे हैं, या उल्टा ऐसा भी जा रहे हैं, ठीक है। In both of the scenarios, in a scientific method, you will involve both of them. Now, as such, your scientific method will have 7 major steps, okay. These are 2 methods that I told you, inductive and deductive method. Both of them will be involved in scientific research, but there are 7 major steps that are involved in scientific method. If you have doubts, please feel free to ask. I don't mind repeating again or explaining it in a different manner if you didn't understand. Okay. There are 7 major steps that are involved in scientific method. What are those steps? First of all, observation या question. आप पहले क्वेश्चन फॉर्मुलेट करना चाहिए, ठीक है। यू आर सीइंग, यू आर ऑब्जर्विंग समथिंग एंड यू आर फॉर्मुलेटिंग अ क्वेश्चन. दिस विल बी द टॉपिक ऑफ योर रिसर्च, ओके। सो इन केस ऑफ बेड सोर्स, द क्वेश्चन विल बी आर देयर बेड सोर्स इन आईसीयू पेशेंट्स, ओके। सो आपका ऑब्जर्वेशन भी है, तो अगर सपोज यू आर ऑब्जर्विंग पेशेंट्स विद बेड सोर्स, द क्वेश्चन अराइजेस, इज इट ओनली इन दिस हॉस्पिटल और इज इट ओनली इन दिस बेड, or is it common in all the ICUs, or is it common in the whole ICU that I am in? Okay, that will be your initial question, problem statement जो बोलते हैं. Then research. Now in this scenario, research will be going through existing literature. You read a few papers, you read textbooks, You try to find out published material आप read करते, whether or not someone else found out the same thing. ठीक है? So you literally do theoretical research in this case. Okay. Once you have done that, and let's suppose you find out, okay, yes, there have been other people also in other countries maybe or in other cities who have found that patients who are in ICUs or patients who have been in who have been lying down in one position for extended periods of time, they have experienced bed sores. तो आप क्या करते हैं, उसका पहले रिसर्च पढ़ते हैं. Once you have read through the literature, you will make a hypothesis. You will start your own research. For that, you will make a hypothesis. So in your research, let's suppose you are hypothesizing that the incidence of or the occurrence of bed sores is more common in patients who are in coma compared to patients who are conscious. Okay, this is all in patients who are in ICU, but patients who are in coma, they have a higher occurrence or there is higher prevalence of bed sores in those patients compared to patients who are conscious, who can tumble around in their bed. Okay, that is your hypothesis. You have not performed any experiment yet. You are only hypothesizing that. Okay. Once you have hypothesized it, the next one will be experiment. आप अलग-अलग procedures develop करते हैं. Now, in this case, what you will do is, let's suppose the procedure is you go up to the patient. Now, if they are in coma, and even if you have another patient who is not in coma, you will turn the patient around. Okay, you'll ask the patient to turn around, or you'll turn the patient around, and you will check for bed sores. So that will be your experiment, and you will note down the observation that you see. Right? I'm only giving you a simple example. Experiments can be much more, detailed and much more complex as well. Once you've performed all the experiment, you are collecting the data. As you perform the experiment, you collect data. Then you analyze the data. Okay. Once you've collected all the data, let's suppose you have collected data from 50 patients in one ICU, and you've done the same in 3 different hospitals, as I told you in the previous example. 3 ICU है आपके hospital में, and you are checking in 3 different hospitals. So you are checking a total of 450 patients. All right. Once you collect the data from 450 patients, you are analyzing the data. You examine the data and you organize it. Now, organization आप अलग-अलग way में कर सकते हैं. Okay, coma first organization, coma patients versus non-coma patients. Then among coma patients, age-wise categorization or age-wise compartmentalization या gender-wise compartmentalization. आप कैसा भी कर सकते हैं. Depends on you. You are the researcher. So let's suppose I am doing gender-wise. So even in coma patients, how many are male, how many are female, and how many in non-coma patients, how many are male, how many are female. Okay. If you want to involve the third gender, fourth gender, it is up to you. Again, depends on you. How many ever categorization you want to do. Each category में कितने आ रहे patients. All of that. That will be analysis. Okay, wherein you are organizing the data that you have collected. Once you have analyzed the data, you will come to conclusion. Okay? Let's suppose in your data, you found out that out of 450 patients amongst different genders and different ages, you found that at least 50% of patients have bed sores. So out of 450, at least 225 patients had bed sores. In certain cases, certain hospitals had more than other hospitals. So let's suppose 150 patients आप देख रहे हैं ना, 225, right? So 225 का कितना था? 75 होता ना? हाँ. So technically speaking, by this number, there should have been 75 patients in one hospital average बोल रहा हूँ. ठीक है? आप 3 हॉस्पिटल देखें, 3 हॉस्पिटल में total 450 patients है. We are telling that 50% of patients had bed sores. It means that एक हॉस्पिटल से आपको 150 आए, एक और हॉस्पिटल से 150 आए, एक और हॉस्पिटल से 150 आए. So essentially, you had 3 hospitals with 150 patients each. Now, ideally speaking, if you take an average, out of these 150, half of them should have had bed sores. So if you go by average, 75 should have been the number. But let's suppose one hospital has more and the other has less. Okay. Let's suppose यहाँ पर only 65 patients had vertical bed sores, whereas here 85 patients had bed sores. The average will not change, but you can see that, okay, in this hospital, more number of patients are being affected by bed sores. It might be the conditions in which they are being kept, or it might be the bed sheets that are being used, or it might be the powder that they are spraying, or it might be the cleaning material that they are using. It can be a several number of things, but from that conclusion you can derive further data. That is how research works, and that is how scientific method works. Okay, just to give you a brief overview, scientific method involves 7 major steps, as I was telling you. First of all, you will come up with a question. Okay, some observation. Let's suppose you are seeing there are bed sores. Okay, you want to find out, अच्छा और bed sores रहते क्या दूसरे patients में भी. You go through the research first. You read up on it. Okay, you try to find published papers or textbooks or anything. Has there been more research done on this? Has anyone else found it out? Once you've done that, okay, you come up with a hypothesis. You are hypothesizing that let's suppose coma patients, you are putting one condition. Okay, you are thinking that this might be possible. That is hypothesis. All right. You are hypothesizing that the occurrence of this thing bed sores is more common in coma patients when compared to non-coma patients in an ICU. Okay? You're confining a very very small population, only ICU patients, and amongst ICU patients you are creating categorization, coma, non-coma. तो उसके बाद आप क्या करते हैं, एक्सपेरिमेंट करते हैं एंड यू कलेक्ट डेटा फ्रॉम ईच ऑफ दीज पेशेंट्स. वंस यू कलेक्टेड द डेटा, you analyze the data, you categorize the data, you organize the data, and you derive a conclusion from it. Through the conclusion, you can publish the data, that publish your own research, and someone else might be able to read that and perform their own experimentations after that. So that is how scientific method goes about. All right. Now, in any research, there needs to be. I hope you understood what are the 7 major steps of scientific method. If you have any doubt, please feel free to ask. Because you are in 4th year, you will be expected to do a research project. So this subject is quite important for you. No doubts? कुछ समझ में आया doubts आने के लिए? I hope you guys are understanding.
Sir, can you please explain hypothesis?
Hypothesis. अच्छा. Hypothesis में क्या है? You are
Yes,
thinking
sir.
of a scenario. So let's suppose in this case, if we talk about bed sore patients as well, okay? या फिर you take some other example. Let's suppose there is flu season going on. Example, okay? Imagine dengue or some sort of flu or some infection is going on. Imagine it is dengue, okay? And you are observing that, okay, during the months of June and July, a lot of people are coming in the hospital with the complaint of dengue or some fever, malaria, dengue, whatever you take. ठीक है? And you try to find out research. अच्छा, आप research करें ये time पे. Okay, there might not be any seasonal. There might be a few studies wherein they indicate that in tropical regions and especially during rainy seasons and all, the number of cases of dengue increase. अब इसमें आप research कर सकते हैं. Let's suppose you are getting a question in your brain, thinking that is it possible or is it so that old people are getting affected by dengue more often and more commonly than younger people. अब ये आपका hypothesis बन जाता research के लिए. So this will be your question for your research. Don't get confused between hypothesis and question, observation. Observation or question is what sparks research. Okay, that is the initial question that you get on which you are reading. Once you have read about one certain topic, because it is such a big topic, you will narrow it down to a certain question, one question that you have specifically. That will be your hypothesis on which you will do research. Let's suppose you are getting a question wherein क्या बोलते old people are getting affected more in with respect to infectious diseases when compared to younger people. अब आपका hypothesis क्या रहता? You are giving a statement initially. Yes, I think that old people are getting affected by infectious diseases more compared to younger people. That is your hypothesis. This is the initial statement that you are giving. Once you have given a hypothesis, आप उसके बाद experiment run कर रहे हैं. ठीक है? You are seeing the number of patients that are coming into your hospital for infectious diseases. You are seeing for how long they are staying, how well they are being treated. All of that is happening, and you collect data and all of that. Once you have done that, once you come to the conclusion or the result of that experiment that you have run, let's suppose out of again in the same scenario, let's suppose there are 100 patients. Okay, Let me keep this. Let's suppose आपके हॉस्पिटल में 100 पेशेंट्स आ रहे हैं पर डे, ठीक है, एंड यू आर कंडक्टिंग दिस एक्सपेरिमेंट ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ 10 days, ठीक है, 100 पेशेंट्स ऑफ इन्फेक्शियस डिजीजेस, ओके, टोटल नंबर ऑफ पेशेंट्स ऑफ इन्फेक्शियस डिजीजेस फॉर 10 days. अब रोज 100 आ रहे बोले तो एट द एंड ऑफ 10 day यू शुड हैव 1000 पेशेंट्स, ठीक है, और एटलीस्ट 1000 पेशेंट्स हैव कम. It does not matter how many got treated or how many died, but 1000 patients came into your hospital for that infectious disease. अब इसमें आप categorization कर रहे हैं. You initially hypothesize that, okay, I think as a researcher, I think that there should be more number of old people in this 1000 compared to young. You perform an experiment wherein you go to each and every patient, you write down their age, you write down their gender. यहाँ पर the main criteria will be age. So now let's suppose you find out over the age of 55, ठीक है, or over the age of 60, you want to make it properly elderly. Over the age of 60, there were around 700 patients, and under the age of 60, there were 300 patients. This proves your hypothesis, ठीक है, जो आप initial question पोज करे थे और initially hypothesize करे थे, this will be proof for that. Once you have run the experiment, now you know that, okay, yes, 700, there are more number of older people who are getting affected by infectious diseases compared to younger people. It is not always true, or it will not be in such a case wherein your hypothesis will always be correct. You might hypothesize something. Let's suppose you are hypothesizing the same thing, but यहाँ पर you are finding out that young people are getting affected more when compared to this thing. So let's suppose 400 old people are getting affected and 600 younger people are getting affected by infectious diseases. So this has disproven your hypothesis. Even though you hypothesize something, after running the experiment, you came to a different conclusion. That is immaterial. आप यहाँ पर आपकी hypothesis immaterial हो जाती. You thought one way, but after running the experiment, the facts showed something else. So I hope you understood what is hypothesis now.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Anyone else? Any doubts? No? Cool. Please feel free to ask in middle of when I'm explaining as well, or putting it in the chat. Either way is fine. Now, whenever you perform research, there needs to be a few characteristics of the research for that research to be good. Okay. So for any research project that you run, okay, first of all, it needs to move towards a solution. Okay, research directed towards the solution of a problem. So you do not just simply do research. Okay, research is very specific. You do it in order to solve a problem or to answer a question. Okay, that needs to be your aim whenever you are performing research. Okay. Another way of telling this is research is helping in development of generalization. Okay, development of theories or development of principles. आप facts को strong करने के लिए या facts को prove करने के लिए research कर रहे हैं. All right. Then research needs to be accurate. Research demands accurate observation and description. So whenever you are performing research, you have to make sure that whatever you are observing, you are writing down without any errors. Okay? You have to make sure that the description that is being given is very, very precise, so as to not skew conclusions. If your data that you are collecting is not correct, or it is, let's suppose it has a few mistakes, numerical mistakes कर रहे हैं, जो भी mistakes कर रहे हैं, that will change the result. Conclusion में change आता, that can affect the quality of the research, and it can affect the strength of the research as such. जो paper आप publish करने वाले हैं, there might be problems in that. Okay. Then involvement of data, new or existing. Now, research essentially involves reading a lot, collecting a lot of data. Even if you collect data which is old or you are gathering new data, in either of these cases, it is very important that you go through a lot of data. Okay, आप literature review भी पढ़ रहे. Let's suppose you are going through literature. Even that involves data. Okay, you are technically reading. Alright, you are gathering data as much as possible, even though you are not writing it down, even though it is not like completely new data, it is still data that someone else experimented on and someone else concluded. So आप वो data को भी involve कर रहे हो, you have to make sure that it is accurate and precise. Then the research is carefully designed. Now, carefully designed का मतलब ये रहता कि you do not just perform blind shotgun investigations. Okay, just on a hunch you will not perform a research. You will think about it properly. You will make sure that you are making some significant change in the society. That is when you start performing research. Okay, and because of that, it requires expertise. Research requires expertise. That is why you will not see each and everyone just random individuals performing research. There is specific qualifications that need that you need to have as a researcher. Understanding terminology, having technical skills, understanding concepts, they are necessary for you to perform research. Let's suppose upon bed source style experiment liye, because the examples I was giving. Let's suppose the research does not, even the researcher, though he knows what are bed sores, let's suppose they do not know how to handle a patient with bed sores, or they do not know the protocols of a hospital, they will not be able to perform the research effectively. You cannot just have anyone come into the hospital, come into the ICU and perform research. You need researchers which are experts in their field. Okay? They need to have certain baseline level of knowledge and concept for them to perform the research. All right. And research will always be logical. It will be objective. You need to make sure that you are being objective without any bias. You should not be partial towards any side of research. आप एक particular hypothesis prove करने के लिए, you have to make sure whatever your hypothesis is, you have to make sure that you are not creating bias towards your own opinionated idea. आप एक बार research अगर perform कर रहे हैं, despite whatever results you are getting, you should not skew the results. All right. So research needs to be very, very objective. You should not involve emotions in it. All right. So those are some of the qualities of research, and it also needs to be very patient. Research generally takes time. Sometimes a few months, sometimes few years altogether. Okay. So it needs to be a very calculative, very properly thought process, and very, very patiently done. Okay. It should not be done in a hurry. Okay. So as to make sure that the research is, it holds strength. It is not just some wantonly done research. Okay. So that is about characteristics of research. We'll discuss about steps of research process, and I'll tell you the differences between qualitative and qualitative research tomorrow. Right. I hope you understood this.